So somebody on one of my videos asked me how did I get into men's rights? Well, I did address this before in a previous video, um, although I don't remember the name of it. One of the reasons why I got into men's rights is I don't like bullying, and it strikes me that feminism is an institutional form of bullying men. But there are other reasons, and one of them I'm going to detail now. In my experience, I can't stand it when women are cast as victims. It really bugs the hell out of me. For example, I don't know how many months ago, I turned on the TV, big mistake, and I turned to one of those channels that are designed specifically to target the feminine id, and within about half an hour, I saw 3 or 4 attempted or completed rapes, and I was sitting there thinking, why would I spend my time watching this shit? And again, this was intended for a female audience, and obviously it's what they want to watch because, like me, they can turn it off at any point. But unlike me, they don't. They actually sit there and watch this shit. And I realized, having engaged with the people who oppose me, specifically the women who oppose me, that they take their value on being a victim. They literally see their value in terms of being a victim, in terms of being victimized, which is fundamentally why they like to watch endless depictions of being victims and listen to endless depictions of being victims and Twitter stories about how women are victims. Once again, potentially that is their only source of value, which is why they get really offended when I challenge it. Whereas in my personal case, I can't stand it. When somebody starts pointing to women as victims, my reaction is, ugh. And then when I have that negative emotional reaction, my immediate desire is to deconstruct it intellectually. And whenever I deconstruct it intellectually, it's always based on inflated statistics, a lack of actually looking at the situation for men. In many cases, the situation for men is worse, but we don't see that because nobody actually looks at it. And if somebody presents me a statistic that says, oh, women are victims in blah, 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 and I say, well, how often are men victims of this horrendous thing? And they go, what? Well, then I completely dismiss what they're saying, because if there's no context, there's no context. It's just victim mongering. And for people who take their value from victimhood, I'm sure that's very satisfying. For me, it's not. And I find it, honestly, I find if you're a woman who takes your value from being a victim, that is sort of sad. If you are attracted to this victim narrative because you think that's your only value in life, that's sad. And I might want to point out that being attracted to this victim narrative and playing it out in your own mind constantly seeing how you're a victim of stuff is exactly the mentality that leads you to destroy your own sense of self-potency, which that sense of self-potency is what's going to get you to identify areas where you have value outside of being a victim, or even develop areas where you can have value outside of being a victim. So you are creating this self-perpetuating cycle. I only have value as a victim. I'm going to constantly see myself as a victim because that's the only way I have value. Because I constantly see myself as a victim, I can't see where I actually have strengths and abilities and how I can develop them to improve my sense of self-worth outside of being a victim. It's sad. And I don't really want to have any part of it. Why would I? Why would any sane human being? Why would any sane human being want any part of that kind of a toxic dynamic? Anyway, that's one reason why I'm into men's rights. It's not a very altruistic reason, admittedly, but it is one, just one. See ya.